Hello students, welcome to the class. Yeah, Medul, I will send in a message, okay? Yeah, sure, later. Yeah, sure, I will send you. Uh, Students, in the today's class, we are going to talk about the organism and the population, okay? So before going to start the class, can you tell me whether I'm audible and screen is visible so that, yeah, kindly tell me whether I'm audible and screen is visible so that we will start the class. Fast. I didn't get the answer, guys. I'm audible and screen is visible, right? Okay, Medul. Thank you. 1 minute. Yeah. So, okay, guys, we'll start this question. You all know that this chapter is very important in the case of the NEET, and you're going to get the question including these chapters like the ecology. You're going to get the combination of the question from the ecology part. These all the three chapters are included in that. In this today class, we are going to talk about the organism and the population. Okay. 1 minute. Yeah. Okay, so when we talk about the ecology, you all know that ecology is nothing but the organism is we living in the surrounding, right? The interaction between both the organism and the organism and the environment we are going to call as the ecology, right? So here mainly our four divisions are there. One is the organism, population, community, and the biome. When we talk any organism or singular, we are going to call as the organism, right? Singular word. When it is in the more than one organism are there in the group, we will call as a population. Population is consisting of the group of the same species. Okay. When we talking about the community, community is consisting of the group of a different population. A group of the different population. For example, if you are living in a one area means you are also there and the animals also there, right? Animals will form the another community, another population, whereas the humans will form the another population, right? Together we are living in the environment that we are going to call as a community. Okay. Then coming to the biome, you know that each biome are having the specific plants and the animals, right? So because of the animals and the plants present there, the each biome has their difference, right? So the different biomes you can see here: desert, grassland, temperate forest, conifers, and the tropical, arctic, and the alpine. These all are differentiated based on the plants and animals there living there. Okay, fine. Then coming to the physiological ecology. Mainly in the physiological ecology, what we are going to study is the organism level. In the organism level, we are going to study how the organism is going to adopt there to the environment, and how it is going to be survive, and how it is going to be reproduced. Okay, for example, any organism adopted successfully into the any surrounding means any environment means it should survive also and should reproduce also. 1 minute. Yeah, it should reproduce also. Okay, so that's why in the Darwinism principle we have studied that the survival of the fittest, right? Survival of the fittest does not mean that who is going to be survive is going to be fittest. No, who is going to be survive also and who is going to be reproduce also. That organism is a fittest organism. Okay, fine. Then we studied about the niche. What do you mean by niche? Means that is a place in the environment, that is a place in the ecology where the organism is going to perform their function. For example, in a forest, if you take the forest, in the forest, the bird is living in that own tree, living in the one tree. Okay, that tree we are going to call as a niche. Okay, so here a distinct role and the position of an organism in its environment. It's called as a niche. Okay. For example, a forest as an environment in that tree or the, for example, water. If you take the water that is the environment of that organism, means that we are in that the specific niche is called as the niche. Okay, specific place of that organism is going to be called as a niche. Fine. Then we talk about the biome. This diagram you are going to get in the exam, guys. This is important in the case of the diagram also, in the case of the MCQs also. In the MCQ, they will give the questions on the base on the match the following. Okay. In the match the following, they will give the one side they will give the biomes, and in the another side they will give the temperature, and the another side rainfall. You have to understand how to match all the things. Okay. So let us go to the Arctic and the Alpine tundra. So these all are in the polar region. In the polar region, you are having the very less degree temperature. The temperature is very low here, and the rainfall is also very, very low here. You know that. So this is the Arctic and the Alpine tundra, that is in the polar region. Then coming to the coniferous forest, you can see that here conifers are having the -1 degree to 13 degrees Celsius temperature. You can see there -1 to 13 degrees Celsius temperature. Here they are having the rainfall about 52 to 50 centimeter. 52 to 50 centimeter of the rainfall here in the conifer forest. Okay. Then coming to the next, a temperate forest. In the temperate forest, you can see what is the temperature here. 10 to 22 degrees Celsius in the temperate forest. And the rainfall is 60 to 220 centimeter. So that is the rainfall in the temperate forest. Then coming to the tropical forest, the tropical forest is having the highest temperature and the highest rainfall. So that's why we can see the various different variety, diversity of the species in the tropical rainforest, because we can see the temperature is also in the good amount, and also raining is also in the every day of the year they will get the rain. So that's why the tropical rainforest is having the a good amount of the rain also, and also the temperature also. Here you can see 18 to 25 degrees Celsius, not less also, not high also. And also the 25 and the 150 to 400 degree, 150 to 400 centimeter rainfall. Okay. And then coming to the next, so that is a grassland. Here you can see grassland is having the 0 to 25 degrees Celsius, and only some species will grow in the grassland, not all the species. Some species will grow in the grassland because it is having only the 25 to 100 centimeter rainfall. Then coming to the desert, where rainfall is very low there and having the very high temperature, you can see that cactus and all the things will grow there, and the plants are having the different adaptation for that environment because of the high temperature, right? So here you can see the desert is having the high temperature, actually more than that, and having the only 10 to 50 centimeter rainfall. 1 minute. Yeah, only it is having the 10 to 50 centimeter rainfall. It is having the more than 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, not 20, more than 25 degree Celsius. So this is the diagram is important, and the temperature and rainfall also important. Kindly remember this. Okay. Fine. Then coming to the abiotic factors, here the important things are, in the abiotic factor, the temperature will come. The temperature is the most ecologically relevant environment factor, because you all know that for the growth of the plant and also the for the organism we require the temperature. And this is the important point. You will get the statement wise question. That is, a mango tree cannot grow in the temperate countries. In the temperate countries, the mango will not grow because it will grow only in the tropical countries. Okay. Only in the tropical country, the mango tree will be grow. Okay. Remember. And there is a no snow leopard in the Kerala forest. Kerala is having the high temperature, right? In the Kerala, we cannot see the snow leopard because the snow leopard will be present in the polar region. Okay. Remember this. These are will present in the polar region. And based on the temperature, the organism is of two types. The first one is a eurythermal, based on how they will react to the temperature. Eurythermal means they will tolerate very wide range of temperature. Uri means wide range of the temperature. The example for this is mammals and birds. Okay. So mammals and birds, we know that these are all the poikilothermics or warm-blooded animals. These are warm-blooded animals, right? So that's why they will maintain the high temperature. Okay, birds and the mammals. Then coming to the stenothermal, stenothermal will tolerate the very narrow temperature. If the temperature was increases about 1, 2 or 3 degrees Celsius also, they will not tolerate. They will die. So that is called as a stenothermal. So example for this are the reptiles and the snakes. Reptiles and snakes will come, okay, and in the fishes also will come under the stenothermal. Mainly the poikilothermic animals will come under the stenothermal. Okay. Then coming to the water, you all know that water is mainly based on the ions which are present in the water that will give rise to the salinity of the water, salt balance, right? So here it is a second most important factor. So urihalline and stenohalline. Here also here mainly the organisms are differentiated into the urihalline and stenohalline. If they are able to control the broad level changes of the salt in the water means they are called as urihalline. Okay, the urea line example is the salmon fish, heel, and the green crab. Okay. So kindly remember this. This is very important. For the urea line organism, they can maintain the broad level of the salinity changes. Those are salmon, eel, and the green crab. Then coming to the stenohalline. Stenohalline means they cannot control, only the narrow range they can control. Those are the organism called as stenohalline, goldfish, and the haddock. Okay. This chapter is very easy, guys. But only a single mistake in this chapter or the single mistake in the statement, you will lose the 4 marks. These all are things will comes under the statement wise question. Okay. For example, they will tell that a salmon is an example for the urea halide. It will control the wide range of temperature. Is that correct or not? Can you tell me? A salmon is example for the urea halide. It can control the wide range of temperature. Correct or wrong? If it is correct means can you give me thumbs up? Correct or not? Wrong, right? Wrong. Instead of temperature, it should be osmotic condition or the salt condition. Yes or no? So there we can make a mistake, guys. There we can make a mistake. Right? Wrong. Very good, Raju. So these type of the mistakes you will get. So that's why you should be very careful while answering to this ecology type question. The concept is easy, but things what you have to remember, no, that is very important. Okay. Then coming to the stenohaline, I told you example is goldfish and the haddock. Then coming to the light, light is very important for the photosynthesis, light reaction, right? And for the flowering, for the photoperiodism, right? Short day plants are there and the long day plants are there because on the light they will produce the flowers, right? So that's we require the light. Then coming to the reproduction and the migration. Some organism will reproduce and they will go for the foraging for the search of the food in the light only. Okay. Then coming to the soil, mainly for the soil, the topography is important in the soil. That is the pH of the soil and grain size of the soil. Based on the soil topography, we can tell that which type of the plants and which type of the animals are living there. Right. On the topography only, for example, you can see the desert. In the desert, based on the soil topography, the organisms are living there, right? Cactus and all the thing, right? So based on that, we can differentiate the organism. Okay. Then coming to the our responses to the abiotic factors. How we are going to respond to the abiotic factor, not only us, all the organism. Okay. For example, regulators we can take. A regulator is a species which can regulate. Okay. For example, if you take humans and the birds, okay, mammals and the birds are having the regulate. We will call as the regulators. Why we call as the regulators mean they can maintain their body temperature, by the means of homeostasis. We all know that homeostasis is the internal process where it is required the ATP to maintain, right? So that's why all the lower organism cannot maintain this homeostasis because it is a high energy required process, right? So regulators means what? The organism can maintain its internal body temperature and also the osmoregulation. Okay. All the birds and the mammals will comes under this, or the warm-blooded animals will comes under this, and some of the lower vertebrates and the invertebrates also will comes under this. Okay. So the thermoregulation in the mammals, what we will do is, if the summer is there means, our body temperature is 37 degree only, right? Is that our body temperature is going to be decreased? No, it is maintaining 37 degree only. But we are going to give a response for the summer. We are going to sweat a lot, right? Have you observed, guys? When you sweat a lot, your body is going to cool, right? When you touch your body, when it is sweated lot, it will give us some cold sensation, cold, right? So that is a type of response given by the body for the high temperature. Then coming to the low temperature, on the time your body is going to be response by shivering, right? You will keep the hand like this, right? By keeping the hand like this, you are going to get a heat, right? So that the heat is going to be produced and body is maintain the temperature. Okay. And if the temperature is more increased, means you will on the fan and the AC in your home, right? So that is nothing but the thermoregulation in the mammals. Okay. Then coming to the most of the organism will not maintain. So we know that because that is a thermoregulation is an energetically expensive process. And here you can see the graph. Based on these graph also you will get the exam in the question. The questions you will get in the exams. Those all are the on the x-axis there is the given the external level and the y-axis they are given the internal level. Okay. So the internal level that is the temperature is going to maintain a constantly where it is not at all changing, it is maintaining constantly in the internal level, means that those are called as the regulators. Okay. Whereas you can see that internal body temperature is goes on increasing, it is goes on increasing according to the external temperature. This is external level, it is the internal level, it is goes on changing, that is for the conformers. Okay. But some organism act as a both conformers and also regulators. What they are doing is for some time, for the particular time, for the particular period of the time, they will maintain a regulation. After that, they cannot tolerate that. They will change into the conformer. Okay, because they are lost the energy. There is no energy left. Then they will convert it into the conformer. So those are called as a partial regulators. Here you can see these graphs. These graphs. The third graph that is showing the partial regulator. Okay. Fine. So there is another thing, you know that a larger surface area relative to their larger volume. When you see the animals in the polar region, they are having the very big size, right? Why they are having the big size means, so this is the larger surface area maintaining. The heat will be produced that will be maintained in the body only. So that's why. Okay. And very smaller animal will be rare in the polar region because the heat loss will be more in the smaller animal, right? So that's why they will maintain the bigger size. Okay, fine. Then coming to the responses to the abiotic factors, that only we studied with the regulators. Now we studied about the conformers, migrators, and the suspend. Then coming to the conformers, we know that 99% of the animals and all the plants, they cannot maintain the homeostasis, right? So that's why they call as the conformers. They will change their body temperature. They will change their internal temperature based on the external environment. Okay. So kindly remember here, osmotic concentration and also the body temperature is going to be changed with the surrounding condition. Changing with the surrounding condition. For example, outside is a 35 degrees Celsius mean, a plant is having the 27 degrees Celsius mean, or the animal is having the 27 degrees Celsius mean, it will increase to around 31, 32. Okay, not exactly, but 31 to 32 it will increase. Okay, so like those organisms, we are called as the conformers. Okay, reptiles can give a reptiles and amphibians and also fishes or all the conformers. Okay, then coming to the migration. You know that many animals will temporarily they will migrate for the successful habitat. For example, where they are living there, right? So there the environment is not good for the particular period of the time. On that time, they will migrate to the another area for the hospitalization, not for the sleeping there, for the hospitable area means there is a good condition. Okay, so that we call as the to overcome the stressful condition, that is going to call as a migration. Okay, for example, a migratory bird come from the Siberia to the Kilado National Park in the Rajasthan, right? So that is the example. You can remember that. Then coming to the suspend. What is mean by suspend means you all know that, right? I think in the JNV and in your school also you know that what is a suspend, right? If anyone did the any mischief behavior means our principal sir is going to be suspend you from the school or the class from the 1 week. Have you heard of that? Have you heard of that, guy? Suspension from the class, suspension from the class. Have you seen in your school? Yes, right. If this, if because of the mischievous behavior of the student, that is a punishment, right? That is called as a suspend, right? So that in here also suspend means What is the misbehavior? Nothing. But to maintain the energy, the metabolism is going to be suspend. Metabolism. Okay. So that we are going to call as a suspend here. So all are going to suspend here in the bacteria and in the lower fungi. They are going to be suspend their metabolism for some period of time. Okay, you know that the bacteria will produce a spore, right? Bacteria will produce a spore. That is nothing but the spore is in the suspension. There is no metabolic activity is going to be taken place, but that is living only. But there is no metabolic activity. But when it is returned to the normal condition, on the time it is going to be again it is going to be living. Okay, so that is going to be called as suspend. Okay, and you can take a seeds also, guys. Seeds. The seeds are in the dormant condition, right? That is nothing but the suspend only. Means they suspended their metabolism or they lower their metabolism. After some time, when you provided the good condition for the growth of the seed, they will germinate, right? So when you give the good oxygen and when you give the water for the seed, it will going to be germinate, right? So that is nothing but it is coming from the suspension. Okay, remember that seeds in the higher plants. Okay, and then coming to the example in the animals, if they ask about the animals, means in the animals, hibernation. Hibernation means polar. Here you can see bears during the winter will go uh, for the hibernation. Okay, hibernation means escaping from the more shivering, more winter. So that is going to be called as the hibernation. Then coming to the estivation, some of the snails and some of the snakes have you seen? They will go inside the soil, right? Inside the soil they will go, right? Have you seen anywhere? So that is controlling the outer temperature. When they go inside the soil, at least they can maintain a temperature, right? Because they don't have the homeostasis. So that's why that is called as the estivation. Okay. And the fishes also in the summer. And this is very important, guys. That is a diapause. Diapause is also the a response to the abiotic factor. In the diapause, what will happen? In the zooplankton, zooplankton will suspend their activity. That is going to be called as diapause. Okay. Kindly remember this diapause in the zooplanktons. Okay. Means the organisms which are living in the water, inside the water, they will undergo the diapause. Okay, fine. Then coming to the adaptation. Adaptation means the organism is adapting to the some environment successfully. For example, when you join to the school for the sixth standard until you are there for the 12th standard, right? You're adapted to the that environment. Waking up in the morning for the 5 o'clock and attending all the classes and again mess and all the thing, right? That is nothing but the adaptation, right? So adapting to the any environment successfully. But in the organism here, adopting successfully and also reproducing. They have to reproduce. Then only they will adopt successfully. Okay. So example here we are given is the first we will study that. It is a morphological and the physiological and the behavioral attribute of an organism to survive and reproduce in its habitat. Survive also and also reproduce. Then only it will be successful adaptation. The example here they are given is a kangaroo rat. A kangaroo rat does not require the external water. Why it does not require the external water means it is depend on the internal water that is come from the oxidation. Okay, it is going to be store the fat inside the body where that fat is going to be broken down, right? Whenever the oxidation is going to be complete, it is going to release the carbon dioxide and water. Yes or no? Complete oxidation. The complete oxidation will release the carbon dioxide and water, right? And this water is going to be utilized by the a kangaroo rat. Okay. And also it has the ability to concentrate the urine. Okay. So that is a adaptation of the kangaroo rat. How it is adopted without the water. Okay. Then adaptation of the desert plants. You have seen that desert plants have adapted to the high temperature. How they have adapted to that temperature means a thick cuticle. On the leaf, you can see the thick cuticles are present, right? When the thick cuticles are there, there will be a transpiration will be a low. Transpiration means evaporation of the water, right? So that will be a low. Okay. Then stomata will be shrunken or it is closed. Okay. When the stomata is closed means obviously transmission will be less, right? Remember that transpiration for the transpiration will be less, less. Okay. Decreased. Then coming to the CAM pathway. In the CAM pathway, you studied in the photosynthesis, right? Photosynthesis of the higher plant. CAM means cressulian acid metabolism. Cressulian acid metabolism. So here, the plant is going to be open the stomata during the night. Okay. In the CAM pathway, stomata is going to be open in the night. Open in the night and closed in the day, closed in the day, right? When the stomata is opened in the morning, the temperature will be high. Obviously, water is going to be evaporated. When it is open in the night, there will be a no high temperature. Obviously, there will be exchange of the gases will be taken place on that time. Okay. Then coming to the desert plant like the Opuntia have the no leaves because they modified the leaves into the spines. Okay. This is about the adaptation. Then coming to the adaptation in the mammal. So here there will be some rules are there. That is the rule A. The animals which are living in the colder climate, they're having the bigger size, bigger size. Okay. Body volume will be a bigger. The organism which are living in the a higher temperature, they're having the body size that is a lower body size, thin body size. The example there you can take a polar bear. Polar bear having the big size, right? So this rule is given called as the Bergman's rule. Bergman's rule related to the body size. Okay. Then coming to the Allen's rule, what they will tell is the organism which are living in a colder climatic region having the extremities. For example, here you can take extremities. Those are very small. Okay. Small. So that is the Allen's rule. Remember this. Allen's rule about the extremities, shorter ear. Okay. Then, for example, the another one taken that is the aquatic mammal that is having the seal that is having a thick layer of the fat that is a blubber. Okay, so below their skin, so that is to reduce the low temperature outside. Means that is going to be produce the heat, right? So that it can maintain their body temperature. Okay. Then coming to the physiological and the biochemical adaptation. Physiological and the biochemical is related to the chemicals which are present in the organism. Chemicals. Okay. So here in the archaebacteria, you can see archaebacteria plasma membrane is different. Okay. So due to that, it can grow in the hot spring also and in the deep sea hydrothermal vent also. Okay. Because of their plasma membrane. Okay. Then coming to the many marine invertebrates like the fishes, they can grow in the greater depth. And the acclimatization of the altitude sickness is the physiological and the biochemical adaptation. Kindly remember that. Then coming to the behavioral adaptation, you can see that a desert lizard is going to bask in the sun. And then some other species are borrow into the soil. Example I have taken now only, that is the snake that will borrow into the soil and they will maintain the low temperature because in the outside it is a very high temperature. So that is called as the estivation, right? So that is also the behavioral adaptation. Okay. Yeah. Then we will talk about the pyramid. So that is the population attributes. Okay. So in the population attributes, you know that a birth rate. Birth rate means it is refers to the per capita birth. In the per capita birth, how many birth is going to be happen? Okay, per year, for example, per year, how many birth is going to be happen? Death. So death rate is called as the refers per capita death. Means per year, how many death is going to be happen? And the sex ratio. Sex ratio is nothing but 60% of the female, 40% of the male, or vice versa. Okay, so this is going to be called as a population attribute. Then coming to the age pyramid, so the structure is obtained when a age distribution is plotted for the population. Here you can see, here they have given the pyramid here. First one is called as the expanding or the growing pyramid. So when it is called as expanding or the growing pyramid means when the pre-reproductive means our young children, pre-reproductive young children are more compared to the reproductive and also the post reproductive means post reproductive means we can take the aged people. Okay. So when the pre-reproductive peoples are more compared to the uh, reproductive and the post-reproductive, we are going to call as the expanding or the growing population. For example, is the India. India is a growing population. Okay. Then coming to the stable. In the stable, what will happen? Pre-reproductive and also the reproductive is equal in size. Equal in size. Here in the expanding, you can take a triangular shape. Okay. And here in the stable, you can see that pre-reproductive and the reproductive is going to be get a similar. So that is a bell shaped. Okay. Then coming to the last, when this pre-reproductive is lesser, okay, pre-reproductive is lesser, whereas the post-reproductive and the pre-reproductive, post-reproductive and the reproductive population is more compared to the pre-reproductive. Pre-reproductive is very less. Okay, that is going to be called as a declining population. Okay, remember this declining population. Okay, so the declining population will give the unshaped. Okay, remember this. Expanding is a triangular, stable is a bell shaped, whereas the declining is the urn shaped. Okay. Okay. Then talking about the population density. When the population density means, for example, a number of the population living in that area. Okay. In the particular area. So when the population is going to be increased, guys, for example, you compare your population density, your classroom only. Okay. For example, when the class is started, when you started in the sixth standard, there will be a 40 number of the student in your class. Okay. 40 number of the student in your class. What will happen? Some of the students will join newly. Okay. Some of the students are going to be joined newly to your classroom. Okay. For example, in the eighth lateral entry, for example. Okay. So what will happen? The number is going to be increases. That is going to be called as natality. I will take. Okay. And when you go to the ninth standard, there will be a immigration is going to be happen. Yes or no? Some student from the other state will come and join, right? So that is called as the immigration. Remember here, natality, a birth, okay? A birth and immigration means the population, the coming from the outer side, okay? Outer side, that is called as the immigration. That is going to be increase the population. That is going to be increase the population. Then coming to the emigration, the people are going outside of the population. They're going outside of the population. And the mortality means a death. So that is going to be decrease the population. That is going to be decrease the population. Both immigration and mortality is going to be decreased. Natality and immigration is going to be increased. Okay, sometimes you will get confusion between the mortality, natality. So that's why be careful while answering to the statement wise question. Okay, fine. So then coming to the immigration I already told you, and these statements. So this equation is very, very important for the calculation. Okay, for the calculation it is very important. Kindly make a note of that. NT plus 1, NT plus B birth plus immigration minus death plus immigration. Okay. A population density will be increased. If the population density is going to be increased means, and birth rate and immigration is more than the death and immigration rate. Okay, otherwise it will be decreased. Kindly make a note of this. It's important. The equation is very, very important. For example, if they are given the any question regarding the calculate the number, okay. For example, before the 1 year, it is a number. Before the 1 year means this is the NT. Okay. So this is after. After your calculation, what will come? No? So that is NT plus 1. Okay. Remember that. And how many births is happened, how many immigration is happened on that time, and how many death and how many immigration is happened on that time. We have to totally have to calculate this. Okay. Then coming to the growth model, there will be a two types of the growth model. One is a logistic model and one is a exponential model. Exponential model, we will talk that it is a theoretical one. Okay, because it is not at all a real. Because in the environment, there will be a no resource will be like unlimited, and there is a no there is no competition. There will be always competition will be there between the organism, right? But here in the exponential model, what they will tell is the organism is growing in the particular environment where it is not having any competitors, or there is a unlimited resource available for the organism. So that's why it is called as a theoretical one. So for this, you can see that the curve will be like the J-shaped curve you are going to get. Here you can see the red wala. The red wala is the J-shaped. Okay, it is a J-shaped and it is called as a exponential. Exponential. Okay, and for this The equation is dn divided by dt is equal to Rn. So that's it. It is a very easy. Dn divided by dt is equal to Rn, small r, n, capital N. So what do you mean by N? N is the population size. And you all know that what is the R? R is nothing but the intrinsic rate of natural increase. Okay, reproductively, how much it is going to be increased, no? That is going to be called as the R. Okay. So the equation you can wrote like this also, dn divided by dt is equal to d minus d. That is the birth rate minus death rate into n. Okay. So that is dn divided by dt Rn. Okay. Kindly remember that here the J-shaped curve is for the exponential growth. Okay. Then coming to the S-shaped curve. Here you can see the blue color. That is the S-shaped curve. This is called as the logistic growth. So this curve is called as the logistic growth. There is a no environment that is having a unlimited resources. For example, your mama is preparing the idli today. Okay. Are you going to eat the, are you, is that mama is going to prepare a idli from the morning to till the night? Till the night it is possible, or till, for example, if they prepared the idli means they are going to continue that for the 1 week also for continuously? No, right? Obviously, the batter is going to be complete, right? So that is nothing but the resource. Like that, in any environment, the resource is going to be complete, right? So that's only that taken in the mind, that is in the logistic growth. Logistic growth is the most real one, and it is having the competition also, and the resource is not limited. Okay. Sorry, resource is limited here, not unlimited. Okay, limited here. So here the growth of the organism will be in the S shape. S shape. So that is called as the, here you can see the starting, the organism is started to utilize the resources, right? On that time it will lag for some time, lagging. Okay. For example, if you take when the class is started at the 12th standard, for some time you take a time, right? To take up the 12th standard subject. That's why you will lag, right? Lag. Then what will happen? Suddenly you will increase your efficiency of reading. That is log, right? And during the exam time, what will happen? You will reach to the stationary phase, right? So that is nothing but a lag, log, and the stationary phase. So here, what will happen? The organism will first utilize the uh, resources, lag very less efficiently, less. So that's why it is called as the lag. Later, it will be very efficient. So then it will reach out to the log. Then it will reach out to the log. The first will be lag. Okay. Then it will reach out to the stationary phase. Stationary. Stationary means it will like equal. Okay. So equal state. So that is called as a stationary. Okay. So kindly remember that here you can see the equation for this. This pink wala is for the exponential growth. Remember the equation is dn divided by dt is equal to Rn. That is a J shaped for the exponential growth. And for the logistic growth, the equation is dn divided by dt Rn. Rn, it is the same as the exponential phase. But what we are taking here is a carrying capacity. A carrying capacity of the environment is different, right? For example, you can take a one classroom. A one classroom can accommodate about 80 people, right? If we are keeping the around more than 180 people or 200 people means, is that classroom is sufficient? No, right? So what is the carrying capacity of that classroom? Only for the 80 students. Like that in the environment also, there will be a carrying capacity will be there. Okay. So that is going to be called as a carrying capacity of the environment. Okay. So that we are going to take care. So that we are going to consider here in the logistic growth, or it is also called as the Verles-Pearl logistic growth. The equation is dn divided by dt is equal to Rn k minus n divided by k. Sometimes you will get confusion. N minus k divided by n, like that. No. Kindly take a consideration of carrying capacity. So carrying capacity is coming above also, below also. Okay. Remember that. And this is a more realistic one. Okay. And it will give a S shape. Yes shape. Okay, fine. Then here is the question for you guys. The question is the equation of the world of world logistic growth, that is a dn divided by dt is equal to Rn k minus n divided by k. From this equation, a k indicates what? K indicates what? You can answer me in the chat box and in the poll also. Sorry, you can answer me in the chat box only, guys, because we are having a limited time, no? Very good. Very good, Raju. Very good, Atine. Very good, Sushmita. Very good. Any other? Any other can answer to this question? Yeah, the option C, very good, Shashank. Carrying capacity, right? The carrying capacity is the correct answer, guys. Okay, fine. Then coming to the next, we'll talk about the population interaction. Just imagine how we are going to interact with our surrounding people, right? Some we are some with some friends we are having the mutualism, right? We are like a best friends, right? You can give one thing, I will also give one thing, right? For example, in our neighboring home is there. So one time they will prepare a biryani, they will give to prepare a biryani for us. Sometime we will prepare, they will prepare a chapati, they will give to us. We will exchange the foods, right? So it is nothing but a mutual understanding or the mutually beneficial. So here what is happening? So both the organism is going to be, both the population is going to be benefited here. That is going to be called as a plus. Okay, mutualism. For example, you can take a lichens, mycorrhiza example. Then coming to the competition. So here we are going to compete. So the NEET exam and JEE exam and all the competitive exams is like a competition, right? One is going to be a win and other is going to be get a lesson also, right? It's not like that everyone who scored good is going to be like the winner kind of thing. Okay, but in the case of the examination you will get the knowledge, guys. That is important. Okay, so the competition here, one is going to be in the organism. I'm telling here in the competition between the two organism, one organism is going to be benefited where another organism is going to be harmed. The fighting between the two organisms. Okay. Then coming to the predation. In the predation, what will happen? One is going to be act as a predator who is going to be fit, and another is going to be act as a prey who is not fit compared to the predator. Okay. So here, what is happening? A predator is going to be benefited, prey is going to be harmed. So that actually plus and minus, right? And then coming to the parasitism. In the year parasitism is also what happened. The host is going to be lost, okay? Whereas the parasite is going to be get benefited. For example, you take a lice on the human. So that is the human hairs. That is going to be act as a ectoparasite, where it will absorb the nutrition, right? So that is going to be act as a benefited, whereas the human is going to be harmed, right? One is benefited and one is not benefited. Coming to the commensalism. In the commensalism, one is going to be benefited, whereas another going to be not harmed or not benefited also. So that is plus and zero. Plus and zero. Okay. Then coming to the amensalism, one is going to be harmed, whereas another is going to be not benefited also, not harmed also. That is minus and zero. Remember, amensalism is minus and zero. Okay. Fine. Let us go in detail about that. The predation is very, very important. You will get the many question based on the statement wise. Okay. So here the plus and minus interaction here. So what is happening here mainly, you know that a predator is a positive, means they are having the high fitness, whereas the prey is having the low fitness. Okay. So what will happen? So the low fitness organism is not like, okay, I am having the low fitness, I am ready to eaten by you, kindly hit me. It will not go like that, right? It has some defense mechanism. What it will do is, it will do some camouflage. So it will hide, it will change its coloration to hide from the predator. Okay, that is called as a cryptic coloration. And uh, some of the are poisonous, they will become a poisonous while the predator is come to eat that. Okay, or cryptic coloration, it will change the color suddenly. For example, when the predator is come to eat that, it will change the color suddenly to the red or suddenly to the some different color. What will happen? The predator will get the he will think that it is not going to be eaten, then it will just left that prey. So that is also. Then coming to the monarch butterfly is not eaten by the any predator because it will be a distasteful. Just remember when you are all in the young, okay, I don't know, now also you will eat the bitter gourd. How many of you will eat the bitter gourd, guys? How many love the bitter gourd here? Bitter gourd, in Kannada we will call as hagalakai. How many of you eat bitter gourd or love bitter gourd? But when you all grown up now, on the time, actually, by the benefit of the bitter gourd, you will like. Very good, Pooja. Pooja actually uh, love bitter gourd in Navodaya. Very good. Means in the Navodaya, I think bitter gourd will made very tasty. Fine. So some organism will not eat the bitter taste, right? So here the same thing, guys. The monarch butterfly will be bitter taste. So that's why the predator will not eat that. Okay. predator bird. Then coming to the plants will they will cultivate the thorns. Thorns will be there for the plant. So the growth there will be the animals will not eat the herbivore will not eat that plant. Okay, browsing animals. For example, acacia and cactus are having the thorns, right? So that's why the browsing animal will not eat that. Then coming to the many plant, for example, calotrophes. Calotrophes will produce the cardiac glycoside. It is very important, guys. Make a note. Okay. So you can remember the glycoside, but cardiac glycosides you will forget. That's why. So they will produce the cardiac glycoside. So that's why the cow or the some browsing animals will not eat the calotrophes. Okay, because that is producing the glycosides. No, that's why. And the nicotine, caffeine, quinine, syntone. So like this, these are the examples. Then coming to the predator. Predator is prudent in nature because predator is completely depend on the prey organism, right? If it is goes on eating the prey means one day a prey population is going to be complete. When it is completed on the time, the predator does not get the food, right? On the time the predator will also die, right? So that's why predator will maintain the number of the it will maintain the number of the prey. So that's why it is called as a prudent in nature. It will not complete all over the prey suddenly. Okay. And here you can see the importance of the predator. Example is control the prey population. Just go back, guys. We have studied about the prickly cactus, right? The prickly cactus, when the predator will be not there on the time, it is like taken place. It is widespread to the all the geographical area, right? But when we introduce the moth there, then the number of the prickly cactus number has been reduced, right, and maintained. That is mainly due to the moth because of the predator, right? Then used in the biological control method. We've seen so many predators we are using for the biological control method. For example, mosquito larvae, we are introducing the gambusia, right? So this is about the biological control method and the maintenance of the species diversity. Here the example is a starfish in the American Pacific intertidal space. We have removed that starfish. What is happened? After removing of that, there is a 10 species of the invertebrates have been extinct because the only removal of the starfish here. So what happened there? The predator is also maintaining the species diversity. Remember that. Okay. So this is about the predation. Then coming to the competition, guys, competition is nothing but between the two organisms here. One is benefited, whereas the another is going to be lost here. Okay. Both the species is going to be harmed here. So that is a minus and minus, right? Sorry, guys. Minus and minus here. Both the species is going to be harmed here. So here there will be a two types of the competition. One is the interspecific and another one is the intraspecific competition. Intraspecific means that is a very dangerous where the organism will be compete for the same resource. Intraspecific is more dangerous. Okay. Then coming to the interspecific, whereas the other species organism also compete for the same resource. Okay. So here the R value, the fitness value is important here. So here you can see that the R value of the one species is significantly lower in presence of the another species. Okay. So here we have taken the interference competition. In the interference competition, we take an example of Bingon tortoise and the Galapagos Island. What happened in the interference competition is in the Galapagos Island, there is no any other species. The Bingon tortoise only there. It is aramse grazing. Okay, it is aramse grazing. What happened? What happened when we introduced the goat? When we introduced the goat into the in the Galapagos highland, the Abingon tortoise become extinct because the tortoise usually move slowly, right, for the grazing. So what is happened? The goat is having the more efficiency compared to the Abingon tortoise. So because of that, the Abingon tortoise become extinct because it got the very less food. That's why. So that is called as the interference competition, where another is going to be interfere here. Remember that. Okay. Then coming to the competitive release. Okay. So what happening here? Expansion of the distributional range of the species when a competing or the dominant competing species is removed. Okay, there will be a two organism will be there, guys. One is a dominant competing and another one is a lower one. When we remove the dominant wala here, the another one will be there here, right? So it will expand the all over the region. Okay, so that is called as the competitive release. So for example, here is a Connell field experiment is conducted. So that is in the Rocky Sea coastal area, that is in the Scotland. So here what they have done is the barnacle that is the Balanus dominates. Balanus is the dominant one. Okay, Balanus is the dominant. Remember, Balanus is the dominant, whereas the Cathamalus is the less dominant. Less dominant here. Okay, when both are there, what is happen? So this is the area. Okay, this is the area when this dominant one is there, on the time this cathamalus is used to take only this place. Okay, only it is growing in this place. Okay, so here what is growing here, the balanus is going to be grow. Okay, so what we have did in the conal field experiment is we removed all the balanus from this area. Okay, when we removed all the balanus from this area, now the cathamalus is started to colonize all the region. From here to this, all the region has been colonized by the cathamalus. That is the less dominant. Means that is telling that, so that is a competitive release. Okay. Expansion of the distributional range of the species when the competing species is removed. Okay, remember that. Competitive release. Then coming to the another one, that is the Gauss principle. Gauss principle. What is the Gauss principle? Tell that is when the two closely related species that is competing for the same resource, they will not coexist together. Okay, they will not coexist together. If it exists together, one will be eliminated, one will be die, or one will be eliminated. Okay, so that is by the Gauss principle, and that is another one example. That is a Mark Arthur. MacArthur will tell another principle, that is a resource partitioning. Okay. Some organism, what they will do is they will be there. They will be maintained. They will be there in the same. They will maintain the same resource by partitioning the resources. They will utilize the resource by partitioning. For example, a warbler. A five species of the warbler are there in the same tree by partitioning their resources. And you can take the Darwin finches also, right? So example for the resource partitioning is the a warbler species. Resource partitioning is given by the Mark Arthur. Okay, they can coexist by a resource partitioning. Okay, they cannot coexist. They will one is eliminated. That is by the Gauss principle. Okay, remember. Then coming to the parasitism, you all know that if it is on the organism, above the organism, it is called as the ectoparasite live on the external surface. Example, lice, ticks on the dogs, and Cuscuta plant. Then coming to the endoparasite, those are the roundworm and the platyhelminthes that is lives inside the body intestine. So that is called as the endoparasite. They have some adaptation, that is loss of sense organ. They don't require sense organ, right? Why require the sense organ? Because already nutrition is taken by the host only, right? So that's why. Then presence of the suckers, because they are sucking the blood, right? They are sucking the nutrition from the blood. So that's why they need a sucker. And loss of the digestive system. Like us, it does not require any competent, a more competent digestive system, because it requires a simple digestive system, because it is going to take a fully digested food only. That's why. And the high reproductive capacity, because it has to maintain its number in the host, no? So that's why. Then another one, a brood parasitism in the bird, where you know that coil. Coil is going to be lay the egg in the nest of the cow. So what is happening here? The cow is going to be incubate that egg, and it is going to be hatched by the cow only, right? So energy of the cow is utilized for the hatching the coil egg, right? So that is called as a brood parasitism. Okay. So the example, then coming to the amensalism, one is going to be benefited, another is going to be not benefited also, armed also. Okay. So the example here is the orchid that is growing on the mango branch. A mango tree is only very big. If a small orchid is growing on the mango tree, means is that going to be affect the mango tree? Is that mango tree will tell that no, 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 you cannot grow on me? Okay, is that going to tell like that? No, right? So, so that is not affect the mango tree. Okay, that is the orchid growing on the mango. Then coming to the barnacle on the back of the whale. The whale is only very big. The barnacle is hiding on the uh, uh, whale. So that whale is going to be tell that no, you don't hide yourself from my on me. Is that going to tell like that? No, right? The whale is not going to be affected. Then coming to the cattle egret, right? When is cattle is browsing, you can what will happen? Grazing. So the cattle, it is just moving, right? On the time, what will happen? When it is moving, the egret will get the insects, right? It will take the insect. The cattle is not going to be benefited by that, right? Who is going to be getting benefited? The egret, right? Then coming to the sea anemone on the clownfish. Sorry, clown is going to be hide on the sea anemone. Okay. So these all are the commensalism. Kindly remember that. Then coming to the amensalism. In the amensalism, one is going to be benefited. Sorry, one is going to be harmed, whereas the another is not going to be benefited. That is a minus and zero. So this is minus and zero. So who is going to be affected, guys, here? For example, you know the penicillin, right? When you take on the penicillin, penicillin is growing, then it will not allow the growth of the any other organism. The other organism will die, right? So that is going to be called as a negative, minus. Okay. So the penicillin is not going to be affected, right? So that is a zero. Zero for the penicillin. The other organism, for example, Staphylococcus bacteria is dying, right? So that is going to be called as the negative. And coming to the another one, for example, a smoother crops like the barley, sorghum, and the sunflower, which are growing, right? So it will produce some type of the chemical. Due to that, it will not allow the growth of the weeds nearby. Weeds nearby. So the weeds are going to be negative, right? The weeds are going to be affected. So that is going to be called as the amensalism. Remember that. Okay. Amensalism example is penicillium and the smoother crops. Then coming to the mutualism, where both the organism is going to be benefited, plus and plus. Plus and plus. Okay, so here the example is lichen. Lichen is association between the fungus and the algae. So both are going to be benefited here. And coming to the mycorrhiza, where fungi is going to be attached to the roots of the plant, higher plant. So here the fungi is help in the absorption of the essential nutrients and the water. So what will happen? The plant is going to be give a shelter for the fungi. Okay. So you can remember that. And also the carbohydrate for the fungi. Then another example for this is a fig tree and the wasp. Fig tree and the wasp. The fig is going to be pollinated only by the wasp here. So what will happen? The fig is flower is going to be pollinated by the wasp. Then the wasp is going to give a place for laying the egg, and the okay, that is going to the fig that is the fig is going to give a place for laying the egg of the wasp, and it will give the food for the wasp larvae also. Wasp larvae also, it is going inside. Have you seen this fig, guys? Whenever you open the fig, you can see the larvae, right? So that is nothing but it is the wasp has laid their egg and larvae is growing. That is nutrition is taken by the fig. Okay, remember this. In the so many exams, they are given this diagram and asked for the which type of the mutation it is. Sorry, which type of the interaction it is. Mutation. The another example is the orchid. Okay, orchid is going to be pollinate. You all know that, and pollinated by the bees. And you also know that there is another sexual deceit. The orchid flower is going to modify itself as the it is going to be change the flower shape for the pseudo copulation, so that the wasp will think that it is a female, then it is then it will go for the pseudo copulation, then they will it will release the pollen grain. Okay, so that is another level of pollination. Okay, remember that. Bee, by the bee, not by the wasp. Okay, then here the question, guys. Let us solve some question one or two. In which of the following interaction, both the partners are adversely affected? Both the partners are adversely affected means both should be minus and minus. In which? Very good, Raju. Very good, Atine. Very good, Shashank. Very good, Pooja. Yes. So the correct answer is competition. So here is the question, guys. It is asked in the 2024 exam. Okay. NEET 2024. Okay. When will the population density increases? Remember here, when the population density increases, okay, under the special condition. So when number of the number of death exceeded the number of the birth, also the number of the immigration equals to the number of immigration. You can read this and answer the question. Go carefully. Very good, Shashank. What about the others? What about the others? Very good, very good. A birth plus immigration. We already studied. There is no another thinking only. A birthplace immigration is going to be increase the number, whereas the death place and immigration is going to be decrease, right? So remember this. The birth number of the immigration is more than the sum of the death and immigration. The option D is the correct answer. So here you can calculate this. The equation is very, very important. I already told you. The second question, guys. So here you have to find the answer. Match the following. Okay, see here. Migratory flamingos and the resident fish in the South African lakes, Abingdon tortoise, become extinct after the introduction of the goats in their habitat. Clatamus distribution range in absence of the balanus. A five closely related species of warblers feeding on the different location on the same tree. So that is nothing but the resource partitioning. You already know that. Then D should be 3. In which option D is 3 here? Only in one option, right? Your energy is maintained, right? Very good, Shashank. What about Raju? Raju answered? Very good, Raju. Yes. So the correct answer for this is a B, right? Then for the A, it is 4, interspecific competition. Then for the B, it is 1, interfere competition, right? Then coming to the Clatamus is the competitive release. Then the one more question, guys, the correct answer is B. So you can answer to this question. Meanwhile, you can answer to my feedback session also, guys. I think today is the last class for you, and prepare well for your exam. Okay, all the best for your all the exams, the NEET exams, and do well. 1 minute, I'm going to launch the feedback session for you. Kindly give me your valuable feedback. Okay. Very good, Shashank. What about the others? What is the A curve and what is the B curve called as? What is the A curve and the B curve called as, guys? Okay, the correct answer is we studied this curve, right? So the correct answer is A. You already know that. A is a exponential growth, that is a J-shaped, whereas the second one is a B, so that is the S-shaped, sigmoidal or the logistic growth, right? So this is also asked in the 2024. And this is the next question, guys. A plant offer reward to the animal in the form of pollen and nectar, and the animals facilitate the pollination process. This is an example of pollination. Pollination is an example of. Very good, very good. Mutualism. Yes, mutualism is the correct answer, guys. Yes. So here you can solve this question. This is a homework for you. You can solve this question. And here is the answer. You can make a calculation of this and you can take this. Okay. Let us end the class, guys. Thank you so much. All the best. Thank you, Pooja.